But yeah, you start talking cryptically, and it's like, I don't know, my people are saying they understand what I'm saying, but I feel like it's so cryptic sometimes, you know. You're making up different ways to say things. It's like, geez. And then you start talking about, like, you start talking like that, like to yourself and in real life, you know, like when you don't need to be censoring yourself and you're censoring your own thoughts. And it's like, my God.
That's the bigger picture, isn't it? You know, it becomes, you know, becomes societal, becomes part of the zeitgeist, and we all walk around bloody self-censoring.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I find they're selective, though. You know, I've stuck stuff in videos that I would have definitely have thought had got me kicked off, right? And they just let it slide. Yeah, something that seems incidental will get me struck off YouTube for 3 months on 2 channels.
Yeah, it's hard to follow what it is, but I think it's just somebody's opinion on a certain day. One thing I've learned is you don't appeal on the same day ever, especially during the same shift. I made that mistake.
Yeah, no, good point. Yeah.
Because, yeah, if you just wait till the next shift, you'll probably have better luck because of the, you know, like the wars between the shifts, you know.
A lot of little Napoleons out there. Like my other channel got cut for monetization for 3 months, and then literally 2 days before it was going to be lifted, they hit me with another one from a video from like 7 months prior or something. Of course, no explanation, and so 6 months I've been off so far. It's supposed to come back on in about a week, but you know, we'll see if that happens.
Any excuse to take you down. I've had the same. I've had videos deleted 3 years ago, you know, so they had no problem in the last 3 years. Recently.
Yeah, but well, hopefully, you know, the history stuff seems to be all right. I think it's more the current event type things, and if you're very explicit about it, I think if you just show something like basically in support of freedom or whatever, people are going to know what you're talking about. Yeah. But if you blatantly say it, like, you know, I can't say, then you can get in trouble, especially like in the first 30 seconds and like in the title, description, that type of stuff really flags it.
Yeah, definitely. Tags, keywords, all that kind of stuff.
I just envision like this evil robot that's just sitting there, and then it just like opens its eyes all of a sudden when a certain keyword goes out, and it's like, Dave, I wouldn't do that, Dave. You know, that type of stuff.
I don't know. This robot seems to be really clever and work out all the different permeations we've worked out for words. You know, the only 5G video that I ever did had the word spelt like 5 and G double E in the title, and it still got deleted. So, yeah, no,
that's funny. Yeah. Well, I was telling Campbell about something, Martin, that I saw just the other night, because I'm a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Okay, so there's all these truth drops in that. Gene Roddenberry is one of these people who was in the know, and there are
space was.
Yeah, and he, if you watch like the original series TOS, you have the first, like the pilot episode is a huge truth drop. It's huge. It's like they cover a lot of bases in that episode, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember somebody else made a video about it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And in the original pilot of the first episode, I think it was both episode 1 and the pilot of the original series. Yeah, and they have like a planet, and there's like a reality device, and they have this like green skinned, like shape shifting woman who is there to just control the people, and they give you what you want, but then they mold and manipulate you into becoming like their slave and this type of thing. So, but I don't remember that one as well, but I remember it was epic, you know, on a whole bunch of different levels when I was first learning about truth. And so then I went back just the other day and I watched Farpoint, which is a double pilot episode of the Next Generation series. And that one is full of truths, and it has a star fort in it. And so, okay, spoiler alert if you watch it, but you know, that they assemble the Enterprise crew and they go to this, they're on this mission to Farpoint. Okay, so then they encounter this god, like a demigod or a god named Q. And so, and I've talked about Q in my videos, and I get a whole bunch of interest because there are a whole bunch of people like programmed, oh, Q, like the anonymous stuff. And, but actually the Q on Star Trek is so much more interesting. First of all, it's a great character played by a great actor and all that stuff, well written.
Yeah.
He just appears, and he does these massive truth drops, saying like, you know, you pitiful humans, you know, if you had nearly as much intelligence as you think you have, then you'd be doing so much better, you know, but you're savages. And he accuses people, but he's also trying to bring them along. It's really interesting. And the way he appears in different forms, he was like the holy hand grenade, except he had 3 serpents coming out of the top one time. And yeah, like he'll appear as like a pyramid or a judge, and he's always like a high rank, you know, like the they, you know, and yeah, he makes fun of people, and then he accuses them, and he tries to get you to trap yourself with your own words, you know, puts people on trial and holds them against their own words. And so he tells them that this is going to be a test of the human race, and they go to this planet, and there's this base called Farpoint, and it's a star fort. And so, okay, spoiler alert. In the end, they sense the architecture in the base is very different from the city outside of it. Now, the city outside of it has a guy who's basically representing the Masons. And whenever they talk about him having built the Farpoint base, they're marveling at his amazing ability to build. And he kind of is like, well, yeah, you know, and it's an amazing base. You know, he doesn't actually say he takes credit for it. And then he says that they want him to build those bases elsewhere because it's so great. And he says, well, I can't do that. You know, this was our one time. And inside, when you're inside the base, things happen for you. Like they want something and it just appears. Like he wants an apple. One of the crew wants an apple, and he looks at the table and there's no apples. He turns and he looks at the table again. There are apples there. These things just happen, and it's only within the bounds of the base. Well, long story short, this flying saucer thing comes. They go inside of it, and it's feeling angry or whatever, and it has the same interior as the Farpoint base, and they realize that it's a living organism that doesn't really belong there, but it was being held, trapped in that spot by the builders of it, the so-called builders of it, and they were tapping its energy, feeding it just enough to keep it alive, but otherwise just tapping its magic energy powers for their own use to manufacture things and do things like that. And so I thought it was just a massive truth drop. You know, it was one of the key points was how the architecture was really, really similar, but it was also unique, like a snowflake. And so, I don't know. It was extremely interesting to me. And it's like, you know, Gene Roddenberry was involved with it at that point, and he was still alive.
Yeah. There's loads of clues in Star Trek. Look at Picard's name and what is Picard renowned for in Flat Earth? Going up to the dome of balloonist, and his son, balloonist in the modern day, Picard's son, the physicist, and the Kabawashi Mac, 1,000-year-old. And Kabawashi is a character in Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Kabawashi.
Oh, are you? I don't know that one. Are you talking about like the Kobayashi, the test, the Kobayashi Maru test?
That's it. You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's loads of clues. So in Star Trek, I've noticed loads over time. Definitely.
Oh yeah. And with the Q character, there's a lot of deep truths there. I believe.
Well, that was a good character. I was mesmerized by that character, just turning up.
Yeah.
Wasn't every episode, but it all tied in, didn't it? He'd show up.
Yeah. And that's like, if you view this life as a test and that type of thing, it was interesting. They just dropped these little things in there. After Gene Roddenberry was gone, it's probably less so.
Why? Took over.
I think he was somehow, he was in the know. I think. I don't know what other works he did. Not that familiar with him as a person, but just it's like the people who did the Twilight Zone. There's a lot of truth there.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I was thinking about that because of the censorship and how nothing ever really changes, and so there were people like us 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and so what did they do? I think a lot of them did fictional work just to get something out there, just to express,
Arthur C. Clarke, no different. All of them, Hubbard, the whole club, just do this space narrative, futuristic narrative, get everyone all mesmerized. This is the whole thing, isn't it? With Hollywood and space, in my mind, is just mesmerizing the masses with pretty lights and flashy things and loud noises, and everyone's just like gone into it. It doesn't matter if not to a lot of people, and there's no evidence that any of it is.
Well, I've seen it over and over again where they use the planet Saturn, which represents a lot of different things, right? That are a lot having to do with Saturnalia and these different types of
symbology,
satanic things.
In your inauguration symbology is just stunk, with you obviously seen Lady Gaga coming on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you see what she was dressed like?
Yeah, the Hunger Games, like to the T.
Just dove with the wings open. The Freemasonic or Jesuit dove. The plasma charged dove with the wings open. I'm like, uh-oh. And she come on. But what a representative for humanity that they should have Jay Hanglow come on and this person as well, And did you notice Garth Brooks doesn't have to mask when he's hugging everybody? Did you notice that?
I think that's part of it, the inconsistency.
Sorry.
But the inconsistency of it, I knew from, I've done a lot of work in factories, industrial engineering. And so we're concerned with safety and different things like that. So we have PPE that we require, and the requirements change according to the machinery and the processes. And I know for a fact, anything that's a manual task, whether it be logging down, whatever it is, the hours you work, it's going to be missed. It's never going to be 100% consistent. It's a human manual task. And they knew that going in with these things, that it would be inconsistent. And that's just part of it. I think a lot of it is just kind of sticking it to people that, here it is. Look, we can do this, and it doesn't have to make sense, But we will say it does, and you'll still do it. It's like.
I think it's to confuse people as well, though. It's like, imagine if you believe this stuff, and there's people out there that do, and you're watching, and you're like, okay, Biden says you have to wear masks in all government buildings. Okay, cool. And then you're watching him, and you're going, okay, so he doesn't have a mask on. What does that mean? What does that mean? If I'm senile and I'm 75 in a building, I don't have to wear it. Otherwise, and imagine what that would do to your brain trying to work out if you believe that they were actually saying stuff that made sense. Trying to work it out would send you crazy.
Gaslighting people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
and they keep questioning, and then they just melt into a little blob, I guess.
This Christmas, suicides have shot up. One of the local boys here just hung himself 2 weeks ago. All the local boys around have been grieving. He was a real character around in the area. So just cracking up, because of all of this going down, it's been a real struggle. The thought of another year of this dragged out,
Yeah, and we've had in my neighborhood 2 parents of different families. They've got beautiful kids and everything, and one of the parents just, the way things work like that around here, you don't really know, they don't really say. It's just somebody died, and they don't really talk about how or why, but you know what it is. And yeah, it's rough. And if you watch Lincoln Kareem's videos, he goes around New York on an electric bicycle. It's great stuff. And he just films what's the reality, and obviously the reality does not match at all what they're saying. But the reality of what was going on at the hospitals is so shocking, and they have these signs up about suicide and this type of stuff, and those are kind of fresh, and those are the really serious ones. That's what they get a lot of visits for, a lot of calls about, and yeah.
What about the nurses? What was going on with them? Is that mass hypnosis? Are they all NPCs? What the hell went on last year? Like, seriously, these are people that are supposed to be caring, heart-centered people, and they were just flat out lying to everyone. And then going out on top of flat out lying, they were going out and saying, look how good we are. I'll stand out on your front door and praise us every day.
Right. Yeah, they're getting such praise and such support for how hard it is and everything. And the ones that I've seen, there's like 2 kinds. One kind is the rarer kind, but they're out there. A lot of them are out there. They either quit really early on in this bull crap, or they switch jobs because so many of them lost their jobs, lost their pensions. It's all shut down. It's all pretty much closed. The institutions are going bankrupt. That's got to be part of the plan too. And they're advertising like, hey, we're open, come on in. You can still get a checkup. But then they're so sold on this whole process of everything. They kind of believe it's real. It's just like, well, we're lucky. We haven't seen it here. But if you go over there where I haven't been there, it's really bad, and that kind of stuff. And then somebody, and
everyone's saying that. and nothing's happening.
It's like a badge of honor if you get a stuffy nose or something. It's like, oh, well, I got it, and then they spread that, my cousin, quote, got it. And no, it's nothing out of the ordinary.
People cash incentives here if they test positive. Basically, if you say you've got COVID, £500.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. They pay, and I can't say too much about it, but like with what happened with my mother, it really burned me a lot, and it's absolutely crooked, and it's a crime against humanity, if you ask me. But
it is. It is, and these people should be bloody hung. I mean, and this is the thing, like, no one died of COVID, but behind the scenes, and they weren't talking about it, is, all these, older people dying alone in nursing homes, all the suicide, all the mental health issues. It's just that's a pandemic. That is a pandemic.
Solitary confinement is worse than physical torture. Because with physical torture, you have the attention of your torturer. But solitary confinement is worse because it's this message to you as a person that nobody cares about you enough to even talk to you or see you or touch you or anything at all, which is the opposite. A baby will die if it doesn't get that. Yeah. But even if you're a grown up, you're still the same person. Yeah. But they have totally wiped that out, along with the flu and the colds and everything else, and they just ascribe it to this thing, and they're out there saying, that it'll not change, and they're saying that, We need to do what we can to prevent the next inevitable pandemic. What? Wait, inevitable? How are you going to prevent? It's just absolutely, they gaslight you right in your face. And I can't believe anybody. I mean, yeah, it's like, if people can't see that and stand up to that, that's like just holding your neck out to Jack the Ripper and walking up and saying, you know, if he were real. I'm sure, I don't know, Martin, maybe you know the Jack the Ripper story. Is that a bunch of bull crap or what?
A bunch of bull crap, yeah.
It was the royal, wasn't it? I heard it was one of the royal.
Polish guy who lived in Swansea here, and there's all sorts of narratives. There was a guy in Bristol they accused of being Jack the Ripper, or he was the Queen's surgeon, or he was a Freemason. There's 100 films to tell you what happened. When you look into it, though, you know, it was like, if this was the only crime in the Victorian era, like nobody ever murdered anyone before in the worst environment, London, you can imagine, a city of 1 million people in squalor. So, you know, it was just, to me, it's a tale. To me, it's a horror story. Same with Peter Sutcliffe, yeah, the next Jack the Ripper. If you look into him, I've seen photographs the other day, turn my stomach. You have Prince Charles with Peter Sutcliffe, right? They're all in the same gang together. A famous boxer called Frank Bruno with Jimmy Savile. And they're all like this, arm in arm. You know, this the king, you know, to be, you know, the Prince Charles. It's just, and they're all in this same club. And that screamed to me, you know, the evidence and everything and the way it was conducted, you know, it was, you know, it was sensationalized for a decade, the fear. They breathe on fear, and nothing. How many serial killers can we actually say are real? You know, you look into Bundy and all that. They're always dressed in orange and come out with complete insanities. I've been watching a few of these videos, UAP, that can be coming up on YouTube. The old Monroe Institute tests on the mentally ill when they're questioning them. And what I see in some of these people, they're saying they're paranoid schizophrenics or have identity disorders or what have you, is people, right, who are in just a different frequency and are highly intellectual, is what I see. And they're talking to people who just can't see the truth.
Absolutely. They demonize the anybody who has like personality disorders and things like that. And what's so absolutely sinister and twisted and evil about doing that is the very stuff that they do all the time causes personality disorders. That is a reaction to trauma. And a lot of people who have had this trauma and have these disorders, it's further complicated. It's like, it's literally kicking somebody while they're down, but times 100. It's something so evil. It's what they do. Overall, I think they just want you to feel like anything that's good isn't true, and anything that's bad that isn't true is true. And it's exactly what they're doing with fear and so many things like AIDS and serial killers and terrorism, all these different things, you know. And it's just meant to get you down. But then in the actual reality, let me give you an example, because this happened to me twice in the past couple of weeks. I went somewhere and I had the thing on or whatever, but I can't see if I have glasses on and I breathe out, they fog up instantly every time. I don't know why it doesn't happen for others. What's the trick? I don't know, but I don't even want to figure it out because it gives me a reason to take it off.
The others are NPCs, mate. They don't have body heat.
Yeah, they're like, it's like fake breathing or something. They don't have the breath of God. It's just like fake breath or something. Well, so I take it off so I can see or whatever. And I've had this happen twice where a lady on the other side of a plastic film or shield, already 6 feet or more away from me, jumps back, endangering herself because she's running backwards, like jumping backwards without even looking, because it was an actual fight or flight response where I could see the sclera, the whites of her eyes, really big, like actual fear, jumping back and just being like, oh my, you know, like, and then motioning like this, like if I don't do it that fast, if I go like that, it's a matter of life and death. Wow. But if she finds a mask on the ground, she doesn't pick it up like you would a black mamba in Australia. You know, she doesn't treat it like that deadly. If it's really that deadly, right? You know. Oh my gosh. I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah.
This is the thing. It's you know, there's all this fear, but with fear, you need fight or flight. You know, you're supposed to get a response, but with this, how do you respond? There's no response, and this is why people are getting so stuck. You know, so messed up. But I mean,
my response was
everybody must have just been like, "Yes, we get to respond. We can jump backwards."
Well, you know what I did the first time is I really, it was as if I realized I was holding a gun or something, you know, and I just went, hey, it's all right. You know, I really reacted like that because my fight or flight response got kicked up because that was the first time I'd experienced that, because I've been paying attention and I could tell that people's subconscious had not been sold on the stuff and they were just play acting. But this was the first time somebody had a physical, like a deep brain reaction of the fight or flight response. And so that automatically kicked mine as a quick reaction. Hey, it's all right. You know, everything's okay. Like I thought she was having a panic attack, like an irrational, well, it was an irrational panic attack, but it didn't register to me what was the problem, because I'm a healthy, handsome man. When I'm around, people are safer, you know. You're going to be more healthy with me around than not. And I swear that's true, because being around other people is vitally important. For starters, you know, I broke the protocols when I saw my mom for the last time. I absolutely broke those protocols, and I'm glad I did, because who's being endangered there? You know, it's just this stuff. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. I mean, I think part of the important thing to do is, like I've been able to do, is get over it and just be relaxed and be like, okay, this is how they are, but that's not how I am, and that's not how I'm going to be. And I'm not going to get too upset about it. I get a little excited, but I do about anything that is, you know, unusual and inexplicable in a way. But you know, I don't let it get me to the point, you know, of being really depressed.
Yeah, don't let it get depressed, because you just wouldn't want that. I've been through the same 3 years ago. Like you said about nurses, there was a wonderful nurse, very caring, was taking out the people who were kept away from everyone else in the hospital, in the senile ward. She was there about a month and got rid of her. She was just too nice. And I thought, yeah, because all of the other ones seem to be like devoid of any feeling. None of them are empaths. You know, they're doing their routines and, you know, treating people like pieces of meat, you know. And they talk to people, old people, like they're stupid. Are you okay, Mrs. Joe? You know, these people lived their entire lives, brought up children, worked all their lives, and really rational, and they talk to you like they're small, stupid children. I thought that was disgusting. But the whole thing was just, after I went through all, I was left like you know, I was with the decisions and, you know, where do I go from here, feeling this, you know, messed up and grieving. And I thought, I was thinking vengeful thoughts at first, like, I'm going to get them back. So, you know, there's always been ticking along in the back of my mind. Until all this, and that was on 2 years ago. And it was a bug in the hospital, you know, that MSRA super bug that they call. Yeah, you know, they told me, you know, I said, if I don't get it out of here, that bug's going to have it. She went, yeah, it will. So I was like, you know, you just know. And they had free will to just be injecting people, you know, without their say so, you know, there's no one to fight. So, yeah, I know exactly how this stuff goes down. And anyone left in there now, in these places, to their own, you know, no family to watch over them, you know, they're doomed. They're doomed. They really are. These people are going protocols. And like you said last year with these dancing nurses, Campbell, that makes zero sense. They weren't nurses, they're crisis actors. You're not allowed to wear rings, earrings. You're not allowed to wear watches. This is something everybody knows, yeah? You can't as a nurse, yeah? It's impossible. So they're hired. So there got to be good, you know, good people out there. You know, some of these nurses that have come out and done little YouTube, something like, no, again, that's not feeling genuine. You know, I've yet to have one that's moved me, yeah, to make me fill up. You know, if it moves you and it fills you up and you really feel it, and you think, you know, that might have gone down, you know, but nah. How long's it been going on now? So we've all talked to a lot of people, Campbell, haven't we? Haven't we, UAP? No.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there, but you know, they'll talk about it, but they're not in the high positions. The reward and pay structure rewards for pushing this narrative, and yeah, the ones you see on TV, absolutely, they're not. Yeah, there's like they're putting everything out there. It's I think the going rate's $10,000 for a week or two, because it takes about a week or two to do the scene, from you know, to prepare and choreograph and then carry it out. They block off an area, they do the scene.
Yeah, that was real. Where would they find the time, UAP? They're supposed to be working in a pandemic, which means, you know, they would be doing 15-hour days, completely shattered, passing out, shift after shift in a pandemic. Yeah.
Well, in one sentence following another, they'll say they have no time and there are people dying and they need more help. And then in another sentence, they'll say, you know, I was thinking about it on my couch, petting my dog the other night when I was listening to music and da-da-da. And you know, it's like, well, wait, what's true then? So, yeah. So
what do you think, like, what was the idea behind it then? If this is all, you know, part of the script and it's all fake, like, why are they getting nurses to dance?
Part of the ritual. Part of the ritual. Did you see the Olympic opening ceremony? Well,
yeah.
The one with coronavirus. The virus. I didn't say that.
Yeah. But some of the moves they will do will be Freemasonic. You know, if you go look on the Freemasonic chart of, you know, cross legs and arms this way, and you know, they're doing all of that, and it's part of this fabulous death cult they're all involved in. So yeah, I think that the dance is part of it. Definitely, the masks, the masquerade ball. That's a massive part of their ritual. And
I think the masks are, you know, they wear the mask to say we're allowed to see you, and they put the masks on us on the mask to say, and you can't talk.
Yeah, it's a real side to humanity that is doing that.
Yeah, it's very well, like with the toilet paper thing. It's like you guys are going to shit yourselves over what we've got coming.
Yeah,
it's totally psychologically planned that way.
Yeah. Everyone panic buying bog roll. Yeah, like if you know you've got no food, you're not going to be needing any bog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And dust, mate.